We had Bitcoin that fell from the highs of November 2021 all the way down to the lows of 2023. Risk got blown up. Celsius, FTX, Luna, 3 Hours Capital, all that sort of thing happened. Inflation happened. It was problematic. But then that settled down, and now we're back to moving up and to the right. Remember, the move up and to the right is the natural move for the market, right? Because if they're debasing currency, the market's going to go up and to the right. The only reason it stops is that people who have money, have assets, get worried temporarily. Why do you believe that Bitcoin is going to hit 150? What's driving this move? It's interesting how you might say that. The naysayers out there, the shorts, the 2 billion shorts, and there was a lot more than before, remember? It's like 11 billion shorts, we're at 2 billion shorts right now. A lot of people, for some reason, don't understand this very simple thing. The financial system is rigged. It's rigged for her pleasure. No, I'm sorry. Oh, God. It's rigged for Wall Street and governments. That's what it's rigged for, the elites of the world. And you need to be able to follow along what Elysium and District 1 are doing. You need to know what they're doing. What they're doing is debasing your currency. They're debasing the currency. That means they're making currency within financial markets worth less, so that you need more of them, or so the assets have to go up in nominal value in order to match the debasement. That's just what it is. So it's an inevitable process. The Bitcoin people have been telling you this for the longest time. The Austrian economics people were telling you this the longest time. The libertarians are telling you this for the longest time. You debase the currency. History will tell you this. You debase the currency, assets go up in price in order to match that new level, and you get poorer. But for sure, assets go up in nominal value. For sure. For sure. So it's guaranteed that major assets, high-performing assets, real estate, all these things are going to go up and to the right. That's a guarantee, 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 guarantee. There's no way around that. The whole system is dependent on that happening. And we can go all into the details of the value of collateralized loans and how much the debt refinancing cycle and the business cycle and the whole thing. But just accept the fact that the system is designed to siphon money away into these assets, the financial system. So there's no doubt that it's going to go up and to the right. The question is, when do the ebbs and flows happen? And we get this telegraphed by the participants within the systems, from the fiscal side for government and from the monetary side from central banks. They want us to know, they want the elites to know, and the would-be elites to know, what they're going to be doing in order to make sure that they're not panicked. They got to make sure that the people who have the assets and who have the money to invest into things don't panic, so that they continue to invest. You can imagine this, right? That's the goal. Keep things steady, keep the promises going, keep the liquidity flowing. So we can track their behavior. We know what they're doing. We know what's being said. We know that the government and the central banks are going to say and do whatever is necessary in order to keep this game afloat. So that's why we are rising, because they've been doing this now for the last year and a half. And it takes a while before that liquidity shows up in the charts, and it takes a while before that flows off. Unless a crisis happens, it takes a long while before that stops. That's why there's been a bull market in Bitcoin ever since the lows of 2023. Why? Because we had inflation like crazy from 2021 to basically, well, inflation's been high, period. But we had this big run of inflation and scare and uncertainty. And we had, if we pull up the chart over here, we had Bitcoin that fell from the highs of November 2021 all the way down to the lows of 2023. Risk got blown up. Celsius, FTX, Luna, 3 Hours Capital, all that sort of thing happened. Inflation happened. It was problematic. But then that settled down, and now we're back to moving up and to the right. Remember, the move up and to the right is the natural move for the market. Right? Because if they're debasing currency, the market's going to go up and to the right. The only reason it stops is that people who have money, have assets, get worried temporarily. But this is the world we live in, up and to the right, folks. You think it's special on Bitcoin? Is that what you think? You think it's special on Bitcoin? S&P, NASDAQ, gold, up and to the right, folks. The chart goes up and to the right. So when you ask me, Peter, how do I know? Nothing else happens. Nothing else happens. Meta, Facebook, Google, it's going to go up and to the right. You think I'm going to find one of these charts and it doesn't do that, Peter? You think that's what's going to happen? No. Up and to the right. And Bitcoin is the most up and to the right of them all. Now, let's take a look at the trades for last week, and then let's project what's going to happen over the next 2 weeks and why I'm so confident Bitcoin gets to 150. So we did a Revelations episode of this last week. You can take a look at that for more details, but let's just do a quick rundown over here, where last week, which started over here, remember we said whatever move happens on the first day of the week, the Monday of the week, fade that move, the reverse will happen. So just like over here for the week before, it went down and then went back up. This week, it went down and went back up. So it went down on the first day and then rose. It rose from there. Where did it rise to? The first trend line, then the second trend line, and now we're bumping against this trend, which we were talking about. Do you remember we were talking about this last week, Peter? I said we're going to be bouncing around this level, and we have two things that could happen. Either we're going to fall lower and then move up, or just continue moving up. Those are the two scenarios. And it looks like we're trying to break above. So the move for last week was textbook. Pull back on first day, reverse the trend for the rest of the week. With, if you could have pullbacks at all, it'd be pullbacks to the daily levels, which we never actually got to. Well, we got to it over here on the on Wednesday, and we got it to over here on Saturday. Saturday's always sideways day, Peter. I don't know if we're going to be calling it permanently Sideway Saturday. It's not always the case if there's news, but almost always Saturdays on Bitcoin are flat. So it's textbook what we saw last week. And now on Sunday, as we're moving up, it's suggesting that we're going to have a breakout this week. So the question is, what happens with Bitcoin on Monday? So on Monday, so that's for the trades for last week. The trades for last week is us continuing our long bias. And if we were ever going to add into our position, it would have been if we dropped to the daily level of 102.3. But the likelihood of that happening, like I told you guys last week or the week before, was that we would not really get much lower than this trend level because it matched up with our waves, it matched up with our daily levels, it matched up everywhere. There was not any likelihood that we fall below there, and that's exactly what didn't happen. We did not fall anywhere below there. So we just maintain our long position all the way up over here. And if you did what I've been doing for the last period of time, you're up 400, 500%. Go to sacredprofit.com, sign up for the indicators, like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. I'll be here for the rest of your life, folks.